Bizarre Brain Comics.
Planet of the Apes. Three astronauts traveling in a state of suspended holograms splash down into a vast foreboding lift. What went wrong?
I don't know.
Are we? And even more important, when? According to Hasline's theory of time in a vehicle moving at the speed of light,
Mother Earth will have aged a couple of
magnificent cavern. I want you to see my archaeological digs and perhaps some surprises even for you, Taylor.
I can't believe this. Spectacles, dentures, beautiful silverware. Cornelius, this represents a civilization more advanced than yours.
Hello, my comic book friends, and welcome to Bizarre Brain Comics. I am Gary, your host, and this is where I like to take a look at some older comics, talk a little bit about the characters and creators, and examine the stories and the art. Well, this time, since this week is we've had the opening of the new Planet of the Apes movie, Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, it seemed appropriate to do an episode on some apes stuff. And so here we have the Planet of the Apes book and record set. And as you undoubtedly heard at the beginning, yes, I'm fortunate enough that this set is still complete, has a record, and it is playable. Quite often these books get, the book and records get separated, or the record gets damaged or destroyed, etc. And I've had this for several years. I don't even know where I got it. And then you can see it flanked here by two MEGO action figures of Zira and Cornelius, and I've had them for like 50 years. Cornelius is missing his shoes, though. But Zira has her boots. His little slip-on shoes kept coming off all the time, and eventually they just got lost. He couldn't do anything without those shoes coming off. Okay, and this is book and record set, 45 RPM record. This is Power Records, and this is from 1974, and it is adapted by the Arvid Knudsen and Associates. And I assume that they're the ones who did the comic. And so I don't know the actual credits. I recognize the artist's work, but I can't place who it is. I think it's one of the Filipino artists who, one of the several Filipino artists who did work in American comics a whole lot in the early and mid 70s. Game Power Records is an action adventure drama sub-label related to Peter Pan Records, which is a kids record label. And Power Records produced a wide variety of story records and comics based on TV, movies, comics, and storybooks, such as Planet of the Apes, Star Trek, Hulk, Spider-Man, Captain America, Dracula, Frankenstein, etc., etc., etc. And of course, Planet of the Apes, that's Planet of the Apes, is a science fiction adventure film from 20th Century Fox from 1967, based on the now classic Pierre Boulle novel. Is the French author, and was originally written in French, called Planète du Singe. And this stars Charlton Heston, Kim Hunter, Maurice Evans, and Roddy McDowall. And they used revolutionary makeup techniques to transform actors into believable apes. And of course, now, even in 2001, they used some similar type of makeup for that reinterpretation, the Tim Burton reinterpretation of Planet of the Apes, and they did that very well. They, unfortunately, the whole. I would still love that movie, but there are some flaws in it, and I think the biggest one is Mark Wahlberg in this starring role. He just does not fit, and of course had writing problems. But overall, it's good. They made the apes look much more realistic and stuff. Now, of course, it's all CGI, which makes their body proportions and everything more ape-ish. And the actors have been trained to act more physically more like apes, which is good. But there's just, and as amazing as the CGI is, there's just something lacking that you get with the makeup. Okay, so here we have the book, Planet of the Apes. You may wonder why I say it like that. It's because I first saw the Apes movies on TV in the early 70s, and on the CBS Friday night movie, and the announcer of that, it's the way he always said it, was Planet of the Apes. And so I have said it that way ever since, and it's a running gag with me and my wife. So here we are. Unfortunately, in this adaptation, unfortunately, I mean, it's fun. It's fun to listen to. It's fun, and fun to read. And of course, being just a simple, short little comic, they have had to very much abridge it and alter it. But unfortunately, for the most part, they have left out some of the most dramatic and thrilling parts of the story. Okay. Astronauts crash in the lake, and they shot that at Lake Powell, and out in the desert, which they later find is the Forbidden Zone. Walk, walk, walk. Now they could have abbreviated this part and put another crucial section in there. Really? Someone's trying to call me. There we go. And they first meet the humans, but it's slightly altered there. Then, right in the middle of the hunt, the human hunt with the apes, and it's thrilling enough. And Taylor is taken prisoner. Of course, shot in the throat. His partners are one killed, one severely injured. This is one of the best drawings right here in the whole book. This is where he meets Zira. He's imprisoned. Of course, he can't speak because of his injury, and they combined a couple of different scenes to make this one where he introduces himself. Shows that he's able to write. But this is where they change. She's just talking to Cornelius about it instead of taking him to her office and finding out a bunch of stuff. And then we see Nova. We meet Nova, the lovely cave girl, and then he's but the whole scene where he gets away, running around in the city, and is recaptured, and then speaks very dramatically. That's all completely left out. I mean, that is a critical part of the story. He's just, suddenly he can talk again, and there's hardly anything about it. Except now they're having the tribunal with Zira and Cornelius and Zaius and all the others. And, well, there they are. And they do show him identifying Landon, but of course they cut up they had lobotomized him. And then here's the escape. I can't get, of course, okay, there's the escape. and they get out into the desert, into the Forbidden Zone, to the dig with the skull. But for some reason, they just left out the whole thing with Zaius, and suddenly Zaius and his soldiers are right there with them. Why? I do not know. Again, a critical part that this is being done with Zaius. It's a critical part of the story. And he was tied up, gets his stuff, and off in the conclusion, when he discovers that he is back on Earth. But still, in spite of those flaws, I understand there are severe space constraints. But part of the best parts of the show are left out, completely left out. And here, of course, on the back, the whole thing, an ad for more Power Records. Books and records want you to go ape. And then here they show the other ape books available. Now, out of 5 movies they have adapted, or at least they're showing here, only 4 of them: Planet of the Apes, Escape Beneath Planet of the Apes, Escape from Planet of the Apes, and Battle for Planet of the Apes. They have left out Conquest entirely. And they could have, since this is already Planet of the Apes, they could have put that in and left that one out if they actually did it. So I think for some reason they did not adapt that one. I don't know. But anyway, it is cool to have. Great fun. The adaptation is not nearly as good as the Marvel Comics adaptation, but that's okay. That's okay too. And so that's all I wanted to show you. This time, go through Planet of the Apes. And thank you for joining me. Please like, share, and subscribe. And do let me know in the comments below what you think of this book. Compare it to the any other comic adaptations of or interpretations of the Planet of the Apes that you've seen in comics. Of course, then there are a whole bunch of books. They had the 5 live-action movies, a live-action TV series, an animated series, which I recently got on DVD, and we've been watching that, and been re-watching all the 8 movies. Of course, then they had the aborted reboot in 2001. Then the modern reboot had the trilogy, and now it's a quadrilogy with the new one out now. So, again, thanks for joining me. And remember, even when it's apes, comics are art.